Hello my dear Gemini, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between December 16 and December 31st, 2017 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So I want to wish you a happy new year and happy holidays for everyone that are having a different calendar. Thank you so much for this year that just went by and for all of your beautiful, beautiful support. So, I used the Tarot of the Hidden Realm by Barbara Moore and illustrated by Julia Jeffrey. And I will start shuffling your cards. So when I open the deck here, Gemini, I see the Magician and the Tower, Blasted Beach. So the Magician is a card about someone having a plan. A master plan. It's also about the law of attraction or creating things in your life. Some people might be more into this than others, and usually when you have a lot of needs, you also have a lot of plans and schemes. And here we see the Blasted Beach, it's the Tower, so it seems like those plans might fall. So for those of you that are dealing with the troublesome lover that has been playing you, like the Magician here, that's a trickster, there might be good news. For others that have been trying to create something of their dreams, this might show that the dreams need to be shattered before they can build up again with a greater foundation for you, Gemini. So, I call the Divine with love and light. And here we have strength as well. So strength is going to be needed during this time. And I called for archangels in the four corners of the world. Six of Wands, that's Leo and Jupiter. It's victory. I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, water, Emperor, Spirit and Ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Gemini viewers. And here we have also the Hermit. Strength number 8, Hermit number 9. Also you had the Six of Wands coming past and the Emperor. So it feels like a lot of you are building on your new foundation, and maybe you sacrifice something of some of your old plans to make this happen. It's like you're listening and trusting your inside and going what you find there, the secrets and the knowing that you find inside. So it seems like you are going to be guided during this time of the Blasted Beach, the Tower card. So whatever happens here, it's for a greater good. Okay, so I want a clear view reading for my dear Gemini viewers, and I want my dear Gemini to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So my dear Gemini, this is for the second part of January 2017. I will just tune in to you, Gemini, and your reading for a few seconds. Okay, so my dear Gemini, this is your future. And this is your now, and here we have the past. So in the past here we have the Ace of Pentacles. So I think this is what you have been building on with the Magician. For some of you it will be you have been played by someone that only wanted to go to step 1, Ace of Pentacles. In love, that is. It might be in business as well, that someone wanted to, they are having like beautiful plans for you, but maybe they are not coming ever forward with what they have promised to you. But the Ace of Pentacles is a wonderful card about new beginnings. It's just when it's infertile, when it's it needs to be fertilized to be blossoming. This is kind of like the egg. If it doesn't get fertilized, it will fade away. So it's like you had a very good chance of something in the past, and it's this what you have been dreaming about. It's kind of your mission that's here planted in the past. And here we have the now, and we have a Knight of Cups. So Some of you, Gemini, might be experiencing someone coming back and apologizing because their plans backfired, Magician and the Tower. It might also be that you start to feel this love for someone. Maybe you had led your plans on the shelf, but then something has ignited with you, with the Ace of Pentacles and this Knight of Cups. Maybe you start loving again. Maybe you start to feel hope again. Sometimes when we have been resting some time from love, we start to want to have a new relationship, or we start to, when we have been falling out from our loved ones, we start to reminisce about the good times and wanting them back in our lives. It doesn't have to be a love relationship, any kind of relationship. Knight of Cups can also be Pisces. It can be also young Scorpio or young Cancer, but usually it's Pisces. So maybe a new chance with a Pisces person. And this is your future. And here we have the Magician, so back with the plans and the schemes. If you have someone coming back, you need to know that they haven't changed that much. They might be in transition of changing, and they still think in these terms. They always think about cause and effect. They don't want to say too much, do too much to make you know everything. They might hold back a little bit. The Magician is about communication as well. So communication might be coming through, but it might be someone that has a little bit of a young mind and think that they are the masters of control a little bit. But it's also very fertile. The Magician is working on the fine line between good and evil, black and white. So that's why he's a little bit tricky on reading. But you have an Ace of Pentacles here, Knight of Cups, and the Magician. So it seems like something will spark, something will fire up. It might be that you actually get your biggest dream fulfilled here, that you have changed the game plan by something you have done with your own actions. Okay. So my dear Gemini, the first card here for you is the Five of Pentacles. So someone has been feeling left out in the cold. Someone has been feeling like they are not loved, they are not appreciated, not loved for who they are. And for many of you, it will be this person that maybe didn't take responsibility before. They were just kind of playing games to avoid responsibility. Also, it can be your wife or your husband or your mother. Someone that's they have an alternative plan with everything they do and say. So it might be again that this has backfired on them, and maybe you left them out in the cold, or you might have been experienced this because of something that have happened. It might also be what triggered you to change the game plan. If you felt like this, if you didn't feel love, if you didn't feel like people were supporting you. Next card for you, Gemini, is Three of Wands. So Three of Wands is the Holy Trinity, when you have everything into place and putting your plan into motion. So I think the Five of Pentacles is really the ignition behind everything you and possibly your partner do or have done during this past time. It's past, so it might be December going into first half of January. So here it seems like there's a plan, or someone has decided on this is what I want, and if anything going to resemble this, like the person doesn't put you in the right place of like honoring you in a relationship and valuing you, the Three of Wands is very little with compromises. It's like it's connected to the tree, the Empress, but it's fire, so it's masculine. So it's like when the new mother, like the mother that has gotten their first child, they are not very willing to compromise because they are nesting for their child. So they want what they want, and during this time it's usually that the masculine needs to order themselves into this equation, because the mother in this case can be very relentless because she wants to protect her child. And either you're a male or a female, this might be how you're going about this project, that you want what you want. You're not going to take this anymore, so you have another vision for something that's better, and this is what you are going to aim towards. And for those magicians being left out in the cold, it might be that they have tried to ignite some kind of contact. And here we have a Page of Swords. So Page of Swords, it's kind of resembling, together with the Three of Wands and the Five of Pentacles story here, it kind of resembles this with a magician, because this is communication. Three of Wands is communication, a magician is Mercury, communication. But the Page of Swords is kind of a little bit of sharp communication. So I think two things has been happening. Once you have been stating what kind of security you want in your life, like how you want your loved ones to treat you. You have stated what kind of emotional and physical security you want. Like if someone they disregard you, anything similar to this, with the Page of Swords, it's likely that you won't tolerate it, especially together with the Three of Wands. It's kind of your way or the highway now. For someone that has been dealing with the player kind of type, or someone that has been manipulating, they haven't learned just yet. They're still planning and scheming. And I think you have learned this from them, how to no longer be a victim, because you have seen their game and now you kind of play it. But for this, the other party in this situation, or the one that has been not wanting to invest, just being a little bit selfish, they are still selfish. And they might be also checking you out a lot, trying to really figure out how is the best way to approach. But it's very immature. So it's like this, what I have seen, that we have one side that has been kind of want to drain their partner or their relative or their friend from energy. They always want to win, always want to come out on top. The friend or the partner, or yes, whatever situation you're in. You didn't see your relationship as a game. You try to always. You thought that this person was maybe a little bit juvenile, or a little childish, so you always try to help them in different ways to make them love more and open up more and have more self-esteem. So you kind of held them a little bit like this. But what I'm seeing now is that you are kind of mirroring this person's behavior. So when they are selfish and not taking responsibility, you kind of concentrate on your own life and you don't take responsibility for what's in common between you two. So it's like you have been dropping the situation, so the other person will take some kind of responsibility. So I think it's rather good. It's like a new beginning here. And pages, these are children, so we have earth, air here. So it might be that you are dealing with an earth person, but probably it's more talking about like the ways that you value yourself. It's in a new way. You have taken more control over your own. You're not victimized by love anymore, or by wanting to be loved by another person. If they don't love you, you take it as, okay, that person is not good for me. So that's the Page of Swords. It's kind of when Jesus went into the temple and drove out all the merchandisers. So this is what you're doing with your life right now, Gemini. And here we have the Knight of Cups. So it seems like love is still there, or it will, like some new relationship might come in. Here we have the Star card, so that is healing from this Five of Pentacles situation. You're not going to take situations personally anymore. If someone is selfish, not taking responsibility, you don't take it personally. It's not about you. You just take care of yourself together with the divine forces. It's like you're following a trait of breadcrumbs to take you out of the enchanted forest and out on more sunny meadows. It's healing going on here. You're healing your old wounded self-esteem. You are not listening to other people to get recognition. You are listening to yourself and to your inside and to your connection with the spirits. So and also to your soul. Star card is connected 17. 1 plus 7 is 8, the strength card that you got in the beginning. So it's very good here. You're healing from this old wound that has been like for all humanity, that we never think that we are good enough. The Ace of Pentacles is like how you were born, the seed you were born to be, and now you are starting to align with that seed. You are no longer going to, if someone says, oh, that shirt is so ugly, you are going to make that about that person. Okay, that person is rude, and not about your shirt being ugly. You are like starting to sort what's what. And here we have an Ace of Cups. So with the Three of Wands and the Ace of Cups, it seems like your heart is opening, and that might mean that you're opening the heart of people in your surrounding too. And some people might not be used to have an open heart, so when they open their heart, they will also bleed because of their old wounds that they have kept at bay with always trying to come out of top, always trying to win, and in that way they have avoided their heart chakra. But here it's like you're guided by your heart chakra and by the divine. Whatever you feel you align with, you decide, okay, so this is what I feel. And it might be, as I said, even if it's sensing, it's like I feel like a little bit of sulfur smell here. It's like it has been a battle, and it's a lot of smoke in the air from all the bullets and all the fiery anger. But here it seems like it's calming down, and that love is still there between you, even if you have needed to battle things out. And here we have the Eight of Swords, and it comes underneath the Page of Swords. Eight of Swords, it's a card that comes very well here. It's a little bit, you can see that she's a little bit bitter, still in warrior mood. So this might be going on for you, Gemini, since Eight of Swords is a Gemini card. But it's talking about this rebellion against society and how they want you to fit into a certain square. Okay, you can see this girl, she's not going to be, you can't rule her, you can't tell her, no, you need to not dye your hair black. She's a little bit goth, and so she's not following the group mentality. She's not doing what everyone else's does. She's her unique self. It's this, if human beings were more to show their insight and to follow the masses, we would see more unique personalities. And I'm thinking you are, usually with the Eight of Swords, we have a lot of swords, it's like a mental prison, but here maybe you are starting to become more your true self, even though it's maybe not what your mother would have wanted. Okay, or society, maybe they want you in a different way, but this is actually how you heal. And with the Eight of Swords, it's something coming back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's probably some kind of karma. So what I'm seeing here, it's like people want to communicate. The love is there. Maybe they also want to heal from a battle, or heal a battle between you two. But with the Eight of Swords, this is likely not going to happen, because here it's like someone has taking a stand. They are not going to compromise, and so it needs to be either this person needs to have more of pain in their life, so their heart will be opened, or it's like this other person needs to come with a forgiveness and say, okay, I see that you are very steadfast with this. Can we see if we can find some way of compromising, even though I don't feel that this is much room for compromising, but love is still there. So it might be that you're open for compromises, but it needs to be what you want this time. It can't be you are not going to sell yourself off for the game of politic in your relationship, for being the good person or try to rise above. And now it's more about basic needs, boundaries. This is what I want, defining who you are. So it's both healthy, but it's also a little bit like teenage revolution. And for some of you cross-watchers with Gemini, it seems like Gemini hasn't really opened their heart to another person just yet. They are more about, they are in their own little sphere where they are trying to work things out and put everything right, so that they can move on in a later state, but love is still there, okay? So next card here for the future, we have the Shadow Dance, and it comes with the 5 of Pentacles and the Star card. So it seems like there's some kind of shadow that still needs to be healed. It's some kind of wound that still needs to be healed. It might be that you're encountering someone that's very selfish, very self-centered, but really it's about their self-esteem. They try to blow it up, they try to enhance it because really they don't have any. But it's not your responsibility if this is the case. Of course, you can help a person by saying, this is what I love about you. But if they are going to try to blow up their ego balloon in your face, you don't have to stay to watch that go off. So you don't have to help them enhance their ego. That is what I'm saying. So there's some person has really learned a lesson here, and another person is still like dancing with their own shadow. It's still, they have a lot of ego. They have tied so hard to their ego that has given them win after win after win, and they have been able to be like high above and not feel their heart. So it's like they still have things to deal with here, but they are guided by the divine, at least through this shadowy landscape. So if you are together with someone that's very immature, very selfish, not taking responsibility, leave that relationship and that person up to the divine for a while, because it might be that they need some time alone to figure things out. Like, it's a better way to do things than to try to steal things from other, or to win over them, or always be the one that comes out on the winning end. Okay, so this person kind of needs to learn to give, even though it's like when a person is really enlightened, even if they don't have anything, they can still give. And this has been what has been the problem with humanity for a long time, that there has been this lopsided situation where there has been a lot of empaths being ready to give, and a lot of ego selfish people, many that has been ready to take. And this is why we have this lopsided humanity right now, and a lot of rich people and a big buttload of poor people, and there's a lot of disharmony to the itty-bitty spaces. If in your personal bedroom there's still this injustice, you can say. These people here, they need to learn to find self-esteem through other things than money, winning, having a greener lawn than the neighbor, bigger car, bigger house. They need to find life value through something else. And yes, they have been like this for thousands and thousands of years. How can you expect them to change overnight and commit to a love relationship with you where they share equally? I know this might be your hope, but I'm just saying that it's going to take time. But the mission that you do together with a person, you might be stuck with a person like this that's not doing their fair share, and your mission is very important. But here it's about empath not giving anymore to the selfish person that needs to build on their own foundation, like their own self-esteem. Okay. Next card is 7 of Wands. We saw the 6 of Wands in when I shuffled the cards, but this is the energy has increased. 6 of Wands is Leo, Jupiter in Leo, and this is Mars in Leo. So again, the warrior energy, and you see the horned creatures here. It's maybe that you need to go back into time. Once we were very close to nature, and this closeness to nature was chopped off by the patriarchy that later came with the new religion. What happened then is that the people that was very close to nature, maybe in a very pagan way, they lost their self-esteem, and maybe they entered into this new patriarchal culture with resentment and feeling of being lesser than these other people, like one were more civilized than the other. So it might be that you are disregarding a part of you that's very pagan, very strong, very connected to nature, and this is what you need to reclaim to become a full person. And it might be that your a little bit selfish person has disconnected from the true nature because they thought that it was bad, and then they have no anchor. They have no way of getting love from the universe because they don't tap into the roots of themselves. They try to get it from society, and therefore we have all these narcissistic people because they can't connect to the roots. So these people need to connect with their roots. And some of you might be dealing with the horned star sign like Capricorn, Aries, Taurus. Okay, and we have Capricorn here. I also said Leo, but it's still this, and we see the horned creature here on this picture, but we have fire here as well, and a lot of air, and a little bit of water. So, and here we have the Six of Swords. So instead of Six of Wands, it's Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about truth. It's about going down to that shadowy place and just embracing whatever is. It's like she's taking a deep breath and just, you know, acceptance. It's the key here. So this side with the air, all the air, is a little bit dark. It's still very disconnected from this more earthy realm. So it's like we still have this, like the high civilization and the pagan society, and there needs to be some kind of intersection. It needs to be fertilized by one another. This pagan side, it's if it's healthy, it has connection with the body. And it needs to get connection with the head in that way that the head supports the body. And this needs to happen for this sword side too, that you need to connect with your body to become healthy, because it's a little bit cold here. It's a little bit detached. But Six of Swords is connected to the Lover's card. That's also Gemini. And it's also connected to truth. And it's Five of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Six of Swords. So for you, Gemini, it seems like you're healing from being once left out in the cold. It's like it doesn't really bother you anymore. Okay, so I will also take a card from the Wisdom of the Divination Oracle cards for Gemini. That's the one. Okay, Jinn. So Jinn is the feminine energy, and it's this with the pagan, it's the body, and this is Yang, the head. So it seems like the situation for you, Gemini, is you need to take in more of this Jinn energy to become more feminine, to retouch with your body, reconnect. No one has ever become enlightened through their head. You need to go through the temple, that's the body. That's how you connect with the divine and your higher self and your soul. So I will read a little bit for you about this Jinn card. The feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else making the first move, gathering information and taking cues, the art of conscious allowing. So I think it's time for you that has been the empathic part of this to kind of Eight of Swords, Six of Swords, Page of Swords. It's very lonely energy. So waiting for the other party to develop and to take the first step in this dance. If there's going to be a relationship between you two, maybe someone else needs to do the job this time. This is time as calculated receptivity, as you of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams. It's a little bit like frozen dreams here, to be warning you. Yin does not involve, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alert, study the action of others, and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. So that's a little bit like the magician. Remember, you must make space for a miracle to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper, and you'll see how quickly your dreams manifest. So I'm thinking there's a lot of people here being on this brink of the black and white here very much. So be sure that what you didn't do before, you do it now. If you were the one that weren't able to put up boundaries, you were only able to follow love wherever it took you, even if it left you like without nothing because the other person didn't value you. Then you need to start put boundaries and, you know, wait for the other one to make the move. Flowers doesn't chase the bee. And for the other ones of you that has been very good on boundaries, but kind of sacrificing everything on the outside, becoming very cold, and just like whatever happens, happens, I won't invest. This is a time to kind of start investing, time to start to show a little bit more of that heart. Okay, so I will also take a card from the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle for you, Gemini. Oops. Too many cards. Wild Kuan Yin for my Gemini. The slave dances into freedom. Yes. The pagan slave, I reckon. Oh. I will just read the intro for this card. You have been on a path that no longer serves your highest good. The time has come for you to be free from it. I shall free you from the negative influence of even the most persistent struggle or devastating condition with one simple gesture. Do not be attached to the war you have endured, my beloved wild warrior. It is over by my grace. A new reality of freedom is yours. It is time to dance your way into freedom. So as I said, whatever you have been like doing, like either being following love to wherever it takes you, even if it grinded you to ashes, you're not going to do that anymore. You're going to keep it more chill, and if you have been keeping it chill, you're going to invest more and become like more of a lover, like with the Ace of Cups here in the center and the Ace of Pentacles here, because it's something new. It's like an offering being done here. But we have the Magician and the Shadow Dance, so many of you are still invested with a player that you need to be very clear on what is happening and be able to say no to what you don't want, even if you love the person to bits and pieces. Okay. So my dear Gemini, I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care, and I welcome you back to my beginning of February reading that I will do in the middle of January. Happy New Year's to all of you, and thank you for your beautiful support. If you want, you can visit my new web page, Queen of Cups Tarot, .se for Sweden. So for Swedish customers, it's also a possibility to buy the decks I'm using in my readings. For foreign customers, it's too I think it's too great of a shipment cost for it to be worth it for you to buy from me. But for Swedish customers, I welcome you to take part of. I have the Hidden Realms also as in my tarot shop. So Queen of Cups Tarot.se. Okay, take good care and bye bye.